Hi there. My name's Mary, and I'm coming to you from the Portland Public Library in Portland, Maine. And I'm here to share a story with just a little fright to it. It's a story of the Gunniwolf, which is an old folk tale. And Wilhelmina Harper, she wrote it down and put it into picture book format, but you can find versions of this story in many places. Once upon a time, a little girl lived with her mother in a little cabin near the woods. And every day her mother would say, "Whatever you do, don't go into the woods." And every day the little girl said, "No, Mama, I won't go into the woods." "Well, that's good," said her mother, "because if you go into the woods, you might meet the Gunniwolf, and you don't want to meet the Gunniwolf." And the little girl said, "Don't worry, I'm not going to go into the woods." Well, one day, the little girl's mother had to go into town. She said, "Now remember, you can play out here in the yard, but don't go into the woods." The little girl said, "Don't worry, Mama, I won't go into the woods." And her mother went to town. And the little girl, she was playing in the yard when all of a sudden she looked up and saw some beautiful white flowers right on the edge of the woods. And she went over and she started to pick them because she just had to have those white flowers. And as she picked those beautiful white flowers, she started to sing, "Kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa." And she looked at those pretty white flowers and she said, "Oh, these are just so beautiful." And then she looked further into the woods and she saw some beautiful pink flowers. She said, "Oh, those pink flowers will be so beautiful with these white flowers." And so she walked further into the woods and she started to pick those pink flowers. "Kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa." And she said, "Oh, the white and the pink, they're so beautiful together." And she looked ahead again and she saw some beautiful orange flowers. She said, "I have to have some orange flowers too." And so she walked further into the woods and she started to pick those orange flowers. "Kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa." She said, "These are white and pink and orange flowers. They're going to make such a beautiful bouquet for my mama." "Kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa." And suddenly there was the Gunniwolf. "Oh, little girl, what's that you're singing?" She said, "It's just a little song my mama taught me." "Well, it's a sweet song. Sing it again for me." So the little girl started to sing. "Kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa." And that Gunniwolf's eyes began to close, and all of a sudden, he was sound asleep. So the little girl got up and she started to run. Pit-a-pat, 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 pit-a-pat. And that Gunniwolf, he woke up and the little girl wasn't there. He saw her running and he started chasing her. Hunker-chunk, 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 hunker-chunk. And caught up with the little girl and said, "Sing that pretty song for me." And so the little girl sang, "Kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa." And before you know it, that Gunniwolf's head began to nod and nod. asleep, and the little girl got up and she started to run up. Pit-a-pat, 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 and then Gunniwolf woke up and started to chase her. Hunker-chunk, 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 hunker-chunk. And he caught up with the little girl and he said, "Girl, sing me that song." And so she started to sing. Kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa. And once again that Gunniwolf fell sound asleep. And the little girl got up and she started to run. And she came to the woods. And she ran into her yard. And she ran into her little cabin. And she slammed the door. And that little girl never, ever, ever went into the woods again. And that's the story of the little girl